So the next thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to find out what the ratio value is. So for example, sometimes you'll be looking at a question, you're going to see, well, the cos of 60 degrees, or the tan of 30 degrees, or the sine of 75 degrees. And you may ask yourself, well, what does that actually mean? And the important thing to recognize is that cos of 60 degrees just represents some decimal number. It's just a fancy way of saying a decimal number. And you can substitute those two things in for each other. So for example, if I want to figure out the cos of 60 degrees, in my calculator, I have to put in the cos button, and then I put in 60, and then I hit equals. Okay, and so the cos of 60 degrees is actually 0.50, because I'm going to round this to 2 decimal places. You might want to round this sometimes to 4 decimal places, or 5 decimal places, or 3 decimal places. Sufficient to say that if you're converting it into a decimal, the more decimal places that you use, the more accurate your answer is going to be. That's why we typically will just simply leave it as cos 60 or tan 30 or something like that, because that way the calculator stores all that information and you don't have to write out 4 decimal places every single time. If you want to look at try and figure out, well, what is the tan 30 degrees equal to? Again, my calculator, I have to put in tan and then press the tan button and then type in 30 and then I hit equal. And for me, well, for you too, it's going to equal 0.5774. I'm going to round that one to 4 decimal places just because I can. Again, every calculator is a little bit different. Some of your calculators require you to put in the angle first and then hit the trig function, whether it be tan, sine, or cosine. But again, that's something that you need to practice with your calculator because every one is slightly different. So again, lastly, I want to figure out, well, what is sine of 75 equal to? So again, in my calculator, I click the the sine button, and then I type in 75 and I hit equal. Again, I'm going to round this one to 4 decimal places because it'll be more accurate. So 0.9659. Okay, so you have to recognize that cos 60, tan 30, tan 60, sine 30, sine 27.3, whatever your angle happens to be, it just simply represents some kind of a decimal, and that's all. Okay, and so please don't get freaked out when you see what cos 60 is. It just represents some decimal number, just a different way of writing that decimal number.